And the female star of my one and only, sitting there so lonely looking, but so lovely. This is Stephanie Zimbalist. We are having so much fun. Now, wait a minute. When we saw you last do the whole thing was Remington Steele. What is this singing and dancing and jumping all over the stage?
Oh,
and
yeah.
is that star too tall for you?
Is he too tall? Not at all. I'm used to tall leading men.
Whoa!
So it's nice. It makes me stand up straight.
Yes, doesn't it? Even talking to him, you have to talk to Tommy Tune like that.
Yeah.
Were you taking dancing lessons when you were a little girl?
I remember one time there was a ballet school in Beverly Hills, and my family didn't live in Beverly Hills, so it was always quite a hike to this Tatiana Lechine ballet school.
What was the name?
Her name is Tatiana Lechine. She's a very good ballet teacher. And I remember I was in a car accident. The only time I've ever been in a car accident was going to ballet school, and somebody went through a stop sign and went, "Pew!" That's the only pirouette I ever did.
I think someday we ought to do a song based on the funny names that ballet schools have. You know, Madame Latonga's. When you said Tatiana Lechine, I was thinking Madame Latonga's dancing class for 3-year-olds.
That's right.
And things like that. Is this fun? Are you having a wonderful time?
I'm having the time of my life. I'm having the most wonderful time. It's odd to be doing what you've always wanted to do. This is sort of what I used to dream about doing when I was little, which is why I went into it in the first place. And so in a roundabout way, to end up doing what you always wanted to do at the age of 30 isn't bad.
Not bad at all. Everyone tells me, though, that you are the most non-star-like of the stars. Are you? Did you try to find a laundromat on your way over to the studio?
Oh, I saw it already. I've got it picked out.
You do your own laundry?
Oh, I sure do. My sister and I yesterday had a long discussion about, she reads Consumer Reports, and she told me that liquid sheer is the one.
I was wondering if possibly that going into the Remington Steele show, if there was something that you took more or less as a side, you know, to keep into the show business end of it until you got out onto Broadway again, or to get to do what you really wanted to do on stage?
Well, when they asked me to do it, I'd done a lot of movies for television at that point, and I was just entering an age when I was too young to play the real leading lady parts, and I was too old to play a teenager, so I was going to be stuck. Plus, Remington was a comedy, which I hadn't done, and plus it was a character that was a very take-charge kind of lady. And I'd always played victims. I'd been run over, I'd been deaf, I'd been blind, I'd been amputated. So this was somebody that took charge of her own life and was an active participant in it. So that's why I did it. I just thought it would be a good thing to do, to fill my days.
Do you enjoy doing Broadway better than the film?
Yeah, this certainly is Broadway caliber, but it isn't Broadway. I mean, we're not playing New York. But yeah, I do. I really have a good time.
Stephanie's fellow star in this is a gentleman that I am wild about. So I think, besides saying it privately behind his back, I would like to say it on camera. I am in love with Tommy Tune.
You did good. Looks great.
Oh, here we go. Question and answer time, and you change very quickly, sir.
Oh, yes. I do this about 12 times a night.
That's good. I'm glad.
He means in the show, madam.
Okay. I'd just like to know, how do you like traveling? Both of you all over. I mean, is it really...
Is it awful?
I love it. Now, I know people in show business that think it's a grind. I love it. See, I have Indian blood, and the tribe that I'm from, the Shawnee Indians, traveled all over the country in search of the sun. So it's natural that we should be a traveling community. We go, we unfold our tent, we do a little show in one theater, we pack it up, we leave, we go to the next. You never know we were there. It's in my blood.
I've never heard anybody say they like being on the road because you can't remember where your socks are. You know,
they're in my suitcase. It's so easy.
I'd just like to know, being so tall, do you find it awkward dancing, or is it...
Well, I learned to dance before I got this tall. Thank God. The only thing, it's great for watching parades. I bump my head a lot. That's the only bad part.
Yeah. Tommy, you've been all over the country in the performances. How many performances is now of the Mine One and Only?
When we were in Cleveland, I celebrated my 1200th performance of my One and Only. Thanks. Thanks.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Do you ever forget anything after doing it that long?
Sometimes it goes away.
Really? A line or a step?
A step, a piece of choreography. Yeah.
Hi.
A lyric sometimes.
Can we have you stand up?
Just how tall are you? And he knows how tall, but nobody just...
I'm 5'18".
Oh, come on.
Hi, did you have to be dragged to dancing classes, or did you love it at first?
I asked my mother about this because the question is how, how did it happen? She doesn't, I think that it was destiny, that I was born to dance. My real name is Tommy Tune. I didn't make it up. I couldn't be a bank clerk with a name like this. I've been dancing forever.
Everybody wants to know about Stephanie's family, and you're all too polite, right? You're all going to ask her about the family. Well, you're supposed to ask her about the family. Stephanie, would you talk to us about the family?
Oh, well, what should I say?
Well, I guess they want to know about your dad.
Yeah, my father, I hate dad. Dad's a root beer. My father will be here on Friday. He's coming to see the show, and then he's seen it already. He gave me his blessing and gave me a couple notes.
Is that scary, though, when you're doing it in front of your father?
Not at all, no. He just told me to close my mouth while I was dancing. He did. Because when I didn't know the steps, I would go...
To Tommy, I do want to say, you remind me of Fred Astaire. He was the shortest tap dancer in the world. You're leading up to the tallest, best tap dancer in the world.
I didn't know Fred Astaire was short. Was he short?
He was the perfect size.
What's the
I met him, and he looked exactly like Fred Astaire. He was everything that he was supposed to be. Perfectly attired, perfect gentleman. It's one of the joys of my life that I got to meet him, because he is my idol.
Now, isn't Gene Kelly shorter than he is, or doesn't he qualify as a tap dancer?
Sure, he's a terrific tapper, and of another type.
Yeah.
He's not a tall man. Of course, in movies, it's not important. Everyone looks like a hero on the screen.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Every once in a while, I wonder if they know that. When we were talking about Stephanie's, father, I was going to say dad again. That's Ephraim Zimbalist, Jr. Probably Tommy Tune will agree. Joining us now is the greatest living tap dancer, Honi Coles.
Thank you.
Hey! I want you to know, I should know. I follow this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen Honi on Broadway, but I can't remember the plays. I just can't remember what you've been in, and there was something recent, I think.
Well, my one and only. What was before my one and only?
I did Bubbling Brown Sugar for a month, but
that's it. People are going.
Yeah.
When tap dancing went into an eclipse, which would be about what year, honey?
About 1958, 59.
And when did it wake up again?
20 years later.
Took a 20-year break there.
Took a 20-year
It was at camp with Stephanie, right? Everybody was at camp. But now the young people today, everyone's taking tap dancing lessons, and I think part of it is because of the shows like My One and Only.
Oh, I would say so.
If it's not too embarrassing, how did you get the name Honi?
Well, my sister used to take care of me when I was a wee child. Uh-oh.
And?
I thought they were going to answer for me. Me, teacher.
Honey, when they raise their hands, that means they want to ask you a question.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to wave back. I've never had that happen before. The question Come to think of it, why not? Somebody waves at you, you wave back.
Yeah,
Your
well,
sister was taking care of you,
and she was very fond of me. She was about 12 years older than I, and she started calling me Honey, but it was H-O-N-E-Y. And later on, when I got to be about 14 or 15, I belonged to a club. I'm from Philadelphia, and we had big sweaters, you know, with the pirate's head on the front and the name on the back, H-O-N-E-Y. And after losing about 9 fights, I took the Y off and cut the extensions off the E, and it became H-O-N-I.
I would like to know if Stephanie has any children.
Do I have any children? No, I don't have any children.
Are you married, Stephanie?
No.
That makes it a little difficult. We thought we'd start with that. I mean, can be done. We've had it done. Honey, how old are you?
I am 76.
Whoa. And how long have you been tap dancing?
Well, my first job in New York was in 1931, but I had been dancing prior to that.
40?
As a kid.
Yeah. I'd just like to know your secret of staying so young and vibrant.
White label and water.
I'd like to know how Stephanie stays so thin.
Boy, they really want to know all about you guys. You're young and vibrant, and Stephanie is thin.
I think that when you do what you really enjoy, the rest sort of takes care of itself, I think.
I'd like to know, Tom, who your first dancing teacher was.
My first dancing teacher was in Houston, Texas. Her name was Emma Mae Horn.
Was she Madame Tonka's dancing school? No? She did it on her own, huh? Who had a question here? One of you.
Hi, Stephanie. Now that you're doing what you really like, would you go back to another TV series if it came up?
I don't think I'd rush back to do a television series. It's hard work. It's hard. I'm forever grateful for doing Remington because it gave me this opportunity. So I might end up in it again, but I think right now I have to go play.
Honey, who's the second best tap dancer in the world?
Well,
who's coming up, though? I mean, you know.
Well, there are a lot of good tap dancers still around from my period, like Chuck of Chuck and Chuckles. The Copacetic have a group of guys who dance well. But I think the youngster that has it now is Gregory Hines.
Yeah, it's great.
This is for Stephanie. You've done series and different shows. This may be a loaded question, but who's your favorite leading man?
Uh-oh.
That's an easy question. It's my father.
Very diplomatic.
Stephanie, I was wondering what your father's doing nowadays. I haven't seen or heard from him in a while.
Well, we did 6 hours of Remington in Dublin and Mexico, and my pop ended up being Remington's father in the series. The wrap-up to the series was that he was his father. So that was the last thing, I think that was the last thing he did. So he's gardening and waiting for his next engagement.
This show, we're going to tell you where it's going to be. It is on the road, and if this is a little taste for you, you got to go see the whole thing. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. As you can tell, this is a powerful, good time for me. I want to thank our guests. A little applause for them. And also to tell you that you can see my one and only in Pittsburgh, Toledo, Rochester, Grand Rapids, Houston, San Antonio, and Costa Mesa. Please go. You'll enjoy it.